Hello and welcome to another update video about Natgas. So Natgas seems to be working still on this C wave of wave 4. Obviously, the only thing that could seem bullish here is that the price broke out of the price channel to the upside. That, however, was not anything you could say unexpected in this wave 4 correction, because the resistance really only started at $2.07. And if we're dealing with an ending diagonal to the downside, then it is not necessarily anything unusual that a wave 4 corrective rally breaks out of the parallel price channel to the upside before then turning to the downside. So at the moment, until we break above 250, my assumption is still that we see another low. However, I also want to talk about, okay, how would it look like if we've bottomed already? But it takes like a break above resistance to really confirm that. Okay, so we want to talk about that. Also, again, bear in mind, there are multiple Natgas charts out there that could be used. I've had a look at some other ones today. And the thing is, and that's also a reason why I want to share the more bullish interpretation, it's just that on some charts, you can interpret this as like a 1-2 setup. This is not possible here on the natural gas futures NYMEX NG1 chart on TradingView, which is like the continuous contract. I think it's based on some calculations of TradingView or so. But it is not something I could do here, because this swing low Thursday, 25th of April, did go below that one. Okay, so that I cannot use that for a 1-2. I could give it a 1-2 setup, but it's actually come down a little bit too low to be reliable. But still, it's worth having that alternative on the chart. See, it did break below the 78.6 retrace. Didn't sustain there, however, and then saw that strong rally. But it takes a 5-wave move up above resistance to confirm that we've bottomed. But we want to talk about that today. First of all, at the moment, I see this as an ABC structure. It's reached basically that 100% extension level. Not quite yet, not quite. At $2.11, that is an ideal target for that C wave in white. Okay, but also a C wave can extend a little higher. 225, 234, 250 are the next resistances. Above 250, I think it's going to turn more. We cannot justify this as a wave 4 anymore. It would go too high for that. Then it would put more emphasis on the bullish count, which we want to talk about today. It doesn't harm to have that as one of these scenarios. Also, it comes then again with some key levels, depending on which scenario you want to follow personally. At the moment, though, I'm watching if we get a reaction in that resistance area. If there isn't one, then it indicates, and basically that would be a break above signal resistance, $2.50, that we could use as additional information to understand that the market has actually formed a more substantial low. Okay, so yeah, why not have a look at the different scenarios? So at the moment, as you can see there on the chart, this here is still like an ABC structure. Only reason or main reason why I'm leaning towards another low is that this is a 3-wave rally. Can't really count in a very clear way 5 waves. Then obviously this has come down to low as well. And then unfortunately, due to the gap here, we don't really have a lot of price data on the micro level that we could really use for a clear assessment of the micro structure. Therefore, still looking at this as a 3-wave rally. I think the resistance area is clear, and it takes a break minimally below $1.91, which is this last swing low, and the confirmation of the test of the trend line to suggest that the wave 5 to the downside has started. Natgas obviously has been super boring since February. All right, so yeah, there is not much that happened to the chart really. Looking at the more bullish scenario, this could be a wave 1, this could be a wave 2, that allows us to calculate a target for the 3rd wave, which is already on the chart, kind of, because the 3rd wave, I normally want it to reach the 1.236 extension as a minimum on the log chart. Okay, so as a minimum, that's at 225. Better would be 234 for more clarity. If we get there, then I can give you a support area for a 4th wave. And if we then get a 5th wave, which also breaks above resistance at 250, well, that is when we could say, okay, probably a probably a substantial low has formed. Then we can use that info to add a support level to the chart, which we then call, we could call that structure then a so-called 1-2 setup. So these are sort of the options. Overall, I mean, the chart has really only been trending sideways since February, so not much happened. But as we go into resistance, it's worth having that on the radar as well. Again, the problem is if this is a 1-2-1-2 setup, as it's showing on possibly some other charts, we might not see. So there would be basically a 1-2-1-2 and then 3-4-5 and another 4-5 before we bottom. Okay, sorry, before we form a top. Then above 250, additional structural resistance will be at $2.88, and very important one at $3.40. But if this is a 5-wave move to the upside, we shouldn't get to 340 without getting a pullback. But we'll see how that all develops. This is now basically the moment of truth. I mean, again, in the last few weeks, not much happened. Now we finally get into like a pivot area, into a resistance area, and here the market will help clarify the chart a bit for us. That's my update about Natgas. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you are interested in daily updates about the S&P 500, as well as regular updates about stocks, then feel free to check out our stocks and S&P 500 service. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.